It's fall, y'all. It is sweather weather. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 35 of the Stop, Drop, and Knit podcast. My name is Lisa and I am coming to you from Long Island, New York, where it is like in the upper 60s today. I'm actually able to wear a long sleeve sweater. It's fall, y'all. It is sweather weather. Let's try this again. It's fall, y'all. It's sweater weather. I am so excited. I have so many things to share with you guys today. Really quick first, I just wanted to put out a quick thank you all so much for all of the condolences that you expressed to me through the comments in our last episode regarding the loss of my mother-in-law. Yeah, it means so much that you guys all care. I have not been able to respond to any of them yet, but I read everything and I will be responding to comments from our last couple of videos pretty soon. So today's episode though is going to be so much happier. There is so much to share with you guys. So we need to just dive right into it. So without any further ado, let's start with what am I wearing? Okay, so I didn't think that I was going to be able to actually wear this on the podcast for a few weeks still, but then we got this, it rained this morning and it is cool today. So I decided to wear my Lola Chic tee sweater, I guess it's a sweater, my Lola Chic sweater for today's episode. So this was a recently finished object that I had shared with you guys last time, and I will put some, I will insert some photos, but we had a little photo shoot just the other day. And so this one, I forgot to bring the yarn out, but I've showed it to you guys so many times, and I mean, you can just see it right here. So this one was knit with Wonderland Yarns in the Alice DK base in the colorway Kerfluffle. So this was the yarn that had been provided for me for my very first project to knit up as a brand ambassador. So I now have a finished object and it is so soft and comfortable. These colors, I am just loving these colors so much. So this is going to be a really great transition piece. I think with the colors the way that they are, I think, you know, getting out of summer into fall for a couple of weeks here before I really feel like it's fall color time. And then in the end of the winter, I think winter, like these are nice, like happy colors for the winter time, and then like starting to head into spring. So I think probably this is going to get the most wear after the fall season rather than too much right now, just because I am starting to like really look forward to putting on those fall colors. And fall is my favorite, so I want to fully embrace the fall. And yeah, but I love this. These are going to be nice cheery colors to wear in the winter months and as we head back into spring. So yeah, this pattern is Lola Chic, and this was a design by Annie Lupton of Boho Chic Fiber Co. And this was a sweater that I was test knitting for her, but I did end up finishing it late due to everything that was going on with my mother-in-law. So I bowed out of the test once things just got complicated over the summer for us. But yeah, it is now all finished, and I'm so happy to get to wear it a little bit today. So okay, so that is what I am wearing, and we will move into finished objects. You guys, I feel like I am talking so fast today. I must be in a good mood and excited and happy, but you guys, this one has been a long wait to show you guys, but today, so today is Friday, September 24th, I think is the date. finally today, when I'm recording this, Caitlin Hunter has released her little tee that I was test knitting for her, and she has named this the Glacial Light Tee, or the Glacial Light Tee. I don't know if there's an S, I'll have to look at that, but the Glacial Light Tee. And you guys, this has been finished for 3 months, and I have had to I can't talk. I have had to have the finished product a secret from you guys for 3 months. And I love this tee, so this has been like difficult. This has been difficult for me to not share this with you guys. But so this will look familiar to longtime viewers of my podcast. If you had been with me, like probably I was showing this off in May as like my progress. So probably if you were watching in May, you will recognize my Glacial Light Tee. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to finally be able to take this one out of hiding and wear it very soon. I know that this cool weather is probably not going to last into next week, so I plan to wear this very soon. It's so pretty. This has turned out to be one of my most favorite little tees, summer tees. I don't have too many short sleeve knits, so I was really eager I was looking for something in the late spring to cast on that would be short sleeve that I could wear in the warmer months. And when I saw that she was looking for test knitters, I jumped on it because I needed to get something like this onto my needles anyway. And I'm so glad that I did. I will stand up so you can see about where it hits. So my waist is here, so it's a little longer. The lace, I know that some of the testers decided to start it underneath the bust, which would have been here, but I liked the way that it started here and it cascades down, and it is not too sheer. I was wearing this with just a nude bra underneath, so yeah, there was nothing inappropriate showing. So I really like where this falls. And let's see, the yarn that I used stash. I used entirely stash yarn for this project. So you guys, this is a stash busting project right here. What you need, it's fingering weight yarn. So I used sock yarn, and what I had was I had one full skein of this purple, which was Knitterly Things. So I show you guys all the time the sock yarn club that I do, but she also sells just regular solid colors that you can mix and match with her stripey amazingness. So I had that plum, which went perfectly with these other plums. I'm pretty sure that the plums that I used actually were from the same mini set. I don't think that I used the Knitterly Things except for the main color. So I mean, it's like a pretty perfect match between those plums. And even if it wasn't, there's enough space between these deeper plum stripes, then that it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So all of these, this was a mini skein kit from Backyard Fiberworks that I had picked up at the 2018 Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. So I just had these. This was not all of the colors. There were maybe 2 other colors that I did not use that were in that mini skein pack. But I had, in case that the yardage wasn't going to be enough, because the yardage was enough. So from that one mini skein set, you know, each mini skein gave me the 2 stripes, and I had no problem with that for my size. And I knit a size 3. I was not knowing the final yardage counts initially. Caitlin hadn't yet finished her sample, so like the yardage were guesstimates at the time that I signed up for the test. So I went on Ravelry and I found somebody who was willing to sell me. They had the same exact mini skein set from Backyard Fiberworks that I did in my stash. So now I just have an extra one. So I went stash diving for this project, but then I ended up replacing this to have as a backup. So, but these colors are just absolutely gorgeous. So I definitely don't mind having replaced my stash. So yeah, I did a stash busting project, but then I replaced it just as a precautionary. I didn't want to be like short on any of my colors. But I just wanted to show you this cute little cascading lace pattern up close right here. It was really fun and really simple to knit, and you kind of get like the best of both worlds with having, so you cast on down at the bottom, so, and this was knit in the round, so you had that like satisfaction of having a really fun lace pattern to use to keep you engaged right off the bat, and then every like stripe was exciting too. So like this went so quickly because you just wanted to see how it was going to develop with the striping sequence, and that just was really easy to keep you motivated. And then the top portion and the back were knit separate, and then the sleeves were really short. I did want to mention how I picked up my stitches for the collar, because I know that some of the testers felt like there wasn't enough neck room for the collar, and I know that in general people have had complaints about her necklines. So I used the exact count that Caitlin had in her pattern for size 3, which is the size that I knit, but she doesn't, and I often, like sometimes a designer will guide you into how many stitches to pick up along what part of the neckline, and Caitlin didn't do that for this pattern, at least not the test pattern. I don't know if she has since changed it, because I did recommend that in my feedback upon finishing, so I don't know. But what I did to make it more of a little bit of a scoop neckline, so that it wasn't, so that this front part would fall a little bit lower than the back, and that it wasn't going to be sitting like up here choking me, right? So you want to make sure that you're not picking up just an equal amount of stitches on both sides of the shoulder, because if you pick up, like, say, I don't remember what the number was, but say it's like, I don't know, say it's like 72 stitches, right? It's not, that's not the number, but let's just say it's 72 stitches. I think it was more like 92 or something, but you wouldn't want to pick up 36 along the back and 36 along the front, because then that would raise that neckline and it would raise the scoop part up here, right? So what I did was I probably picked up about 2/3 of the stitches along the front portion and just 1/3 of them around the back. So I don't know my exact counts, but this is a tip that you, not just for this sweater, but this is a tip that you could use for anything if you want to make sure like the neckline is going to sit a little bit lower on you in the front. When you're doing that math, just make sure that you have more stitches in the front than you do in the back when you pick up, and then that should take care of that problem that some people always have. So that is my tip for the day. And yeah, I will be wearing this pretty soon on the podcast because I'm so excited about it. So yeah, I think that's all I have for finished objects today. But you guys, I have so many whips to share. I have new cast-ons. I have things. So let's go dig into all of my whips. Okay, so I thought that I was going to have my Bright Axis tee finished for today as well. It's so ridiculously close that the fact that I haven't finished it yet is just like, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, this is the book, Knit Happy with Self-Striping Yarns by Stephanie Lotvin, and her Bright Axis tee pattern. I want to keep showing it to you because mine actually looks quite different because of the stripes in it. So you can see how many stripes Stephanie has in her sample for the book. I think she used mustache yarns, right? So she used a yarn that had a lot of different self-striping colors in it. And I used Knitterly Things, and the yarn, so Julia, when she does her yarns, and I'm sure that this is true for other designers as well, they have different amounts of colors, and the less colors you have, then the less stripes are going to result. And depending on how often, how little or much dye they use in each section is going to have an impact upon how thick each stripe is going to be. So my Bright Axis Tee has four different colors, and so my stripes are wider. Okay, so all right, you guys can see all that I have left to do is the cuff. I have just the cuff. I mean, we're talking like probably 45 minutes to an hour more of work to do the cuff and to knit in some ends. Like, it's already blocked. So last time I hadn't blocked it yet. I had gotten all of the knitting done for this top portion on both sides. And where we left off last time was I needed to seam the shoulders together. And in her pattern, Stephanie recommends to block it first so that you can really, so that the stitches like kind of settle a little bit, and so that you can easily line up the stripes. So I want to show you guys how amazing I did lining up these stripes. You guys see that matcha stitch there? They look so good. And then on the other side, look at that. I'm so proud of how well I lined it up. So if you guys knit this pattern, you will start, like it starts along one sleeve, and then you little by little attach it. You know, you're knitting like up and down like this, and it's really cool, and then you attach it to the main body color. And then, so you'll go one way with the stripes, and then when you flip it over and do the other side, you actually need to reverse your yarn to make sure that your colors are going to go in reverse order from where they just were, because now you're going to be knitting in the opposite direction. And so in order to get the stripes to line up, you need to make sure that your stripes are going in reverse order from what they were the first side. So I just got my, whatever the leftover was for my skein, and I put it on my ball winder, and I just rewound it into a new ball. So, or cake, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, so this is so close. I don't have any idea which side is the front and which side is the back. I have no idea. It doesn't matter because they're identical. So yeah, probably, I think that there was a point in the main body where I'm gonna have to knit in an end where I had to change the, connect a new ball of yarn. So probably that'll end up being the back side. I can't even find it right now. But yeah, I haven't knit in any of the ends yet, woven in the ends, so that still remains. Plus I have to then finish off the cuff on this sleeve here. But seriously guys, I'm gonna finish this off this evening. It's so close. I thought I would have it finished for you guys for today, but it just didn't happen. I've had a really, really insanely busy week. So yeah, so I just decided to just let that go. But in case you guys haven't watched the last episode or two, I want to just show you guys the really pretty detail of yarn over stitches along the neckline. So that is on both sides of the neck opening. And then the detail of where it connects the striping yarn to the main body. It's just so, she just was so clever in how she did that, and it is just like the tidiest looking construction. And it'll look like that for anybody who does it, because you don't have to have any fancy skills to do this. It's just like slipping 2 stitches together to attach it to the main body part, and it just, yeah. So let's see, yarn that I used is, I have a little bit left. Well, I actually have a lot left. So I had 2 skeins of this logwood. This was naturally dyed, not by me, in logwood purple. And this was a Knit Picks yarn, I think Hawthorne, and it's a fingering weight yarn. And then this is what I have left of my self-striping yarn, and this was Knitterly Things in the color Squash Blossom, which was from her August 2020 Sock Yarn Club. So I am, as soon as I finish the last cuff, I'm gonna see if I can make these into a pair of like maybe shorty socks or something, because I think I have, you know, I'll just split this into 2 equal balls so that I know that I have like the same amount to work with for both socks. So I bet that I can get some really cute footy socks out of this. This one I don't think is a sock yarn. I think it's just a fingering weight yarn, but that'll be fine for like the cuffs. And then I could also, if I wanted to, I did have this mini that came with the rainbow yarn that I did not dig into at all. So this is another way that, like, if I wanted to use this for heels and toes to get a little bit more out of, like a little bit more sock out of like the little bit of self-striping that I have left. Yeah, so I will be turning this into some socks. Probably what I'll do is the cuff out of this and then use these just for the remainder of the sock. So, and just do a cute little pair of shorties. So that's my plan. And that is my almost finished Bright Axis tee. The colors make me so happy. Of course, I didn't manage to get it done in time for summer. It is fall now, but yeah, I'll still be able to get some wear out of this. It's not exactly fall colors, but it's gonna be really fun to wear. And then it's all ready for the spring too. So super excited about that one. All right, let's see. There's so many things today, you guys. It's kind of crazy. So much stuff to share. So, all right, a sip of my coffee. Okay, so my next whip is also something that I had intended for the summer, but it's fine. I just didn't get to start it until we were driving back from Florida, and I ran out of all the knitting projects that I had with me. So I had the sock yarn with me. I do have the label. So this is a new to me company called the Humble Bumble Fibers Co. And this is 400 yards of a sock weight, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon yarn, and the colorway is called Fireflies. And I mean, I bought it with intention of making some socks, except then I got really excited about the yarn. I said, I don't think I want to just make socks out of this. So I decided that I wanted to make a shawl, and it also came with a little mini that is really hard. It's like this really bright fluorescent yellow. It's like highlighter yellow. It's really hard to show that on the screen. But I took suggestions from you guys for a shawl that would be easy, like that didn't have any kind of patterning to it, so that it would show off the yarn, and that would only use one skein and had like a little bit of a contrasting edge to it. And a lot of you suggested the Spring Thing shawl from Espace Tricot, which is a free pattern, and so that is what I cast on, and I made a lot more progress on it. It's like a triangle shaped shawl, and it's really easy. It's just garter stitch, and so you can see that there's like one straight edge on the side, and then you increase. It's a free pattern, so I don't mind telling you what to do. It's like every 4th row you add another increase stitch, and it builds out, you know, to the longest point of the shawl, and then I am imagining that you just do the opposite once you get to that halfway point. So I'm not quite at the halfway point, but I'm almost at the halfway point. So I'm almost at the largest point of the shawl, which is good because I'm almost about halfway through my yarn, not quite. And let's see, I'm using a US size 5 needle. I think the pattern recommended a 6, but the 6s that I had my interchangeables with me on the trip, and the 6s must have been in another project. So I was like, you know, it's a shawl, I'll just grab my 5s instead. And that way I knew that like I wouldn't, if I went larger, I didn't know if I would accidentally run out of yarn. So I just decided to go one needle size smaller, just because that was what I had with me. And it's a shawl, so the gauge isn't important. Yeah, so it's just all knit in garter stitch, and you know, I mean, this could be kind of fun to wear with like a neon yellow top or something. I could see this working in the fall, like from now through about Halloween time. So, but yeah, it seems more summery to me because of the fireflies, but maybe that's just because of the name of the yarn. But I could definitely see this working in like the Halloween season. So what you do is you slip the stitches at each end of the shawl with the yarn in front, so that, and I think I didn't remember to always do that, but so you can see like the edge here has a slip stitch, because what you're going to want to do is have an easy way to pick up the stitches to then add the border along the entire edge of the shawl. So yeah, so I've made quite a bit of progress on that. I work on this one not every day, but I've worked on it most days. It goes like so quick at the beginning when there's not too many stitches, but now it takes a bit longer, as shawls do. Yeah, so actually guys, this is a really good time in the podcast to ask you guys, all right, I wanted your opinion, and I wanted to know how many of you are planning to do Stephen West's shawl, I think it's Shawlography, the mystery knit-along. I've never done one. I have never knit a Stephen West pattern. I really want to. It's 5, so I might do it. Would that be something that you guys would be interested in seeing on the podcast? I think from other podcasters that I've watched, so I've not investigated it on my own yet to see like what the cast-on date is, but I think it's like maybe Columbus Day weekend, like October 8th or 6th, or like something right around there, I think is the first week. I want to say it's the 8th, because I think that or the 9th, like I want to say it's that weekend sometime, which actually would be really convenient timing, because that weekend we're going to be going back down to Florida for my mother-in-law's memorial service. So I will have a lot of knitting time in the car again. So yeah, I think, all right, so from what I've heard from other podcasters, now I have not looked into this myself, so if I am giving you guys any information that is incorrect, just forgive me, because as I said, this is just like hearsay. So I think that what you need is 5 skeins of fingering weight yarn, 5 skeins, and it seems like solid colors are recommended for this one. So I don't really know. I don't have a whole lot of like completely solid colors in my stash. So that's like what might hold me up for this, because it's 5 skeins. Although, actually, hold on, thinking out loud here, I do have a beautiful 5 skein gradient in my stash. That is 5 full skeins from Sweet Georgia Yarns, Sweet Georgia Fibers, whatever the name is, from Felicia. This might be a fun project to use that for, because I kind of bought that, I fell in love with the colors and I had no plan, and those are like solid tonal colors in like a purple, teal, pink jewel tone range. Should I do it? I don't know like what he recommends as far as like how contrasting the colors should be though. I need to look into this. If I need a couple of things with heavy contrast, then I don't know if a gradient set would work so well. So I'm gonna have to research this, but you guys let me know if you think I should do it. It would be my first Stephen West pattern. It would be my first time doing a mystery knit-along, and I think that that could just be a really fun thing to do on the podcast, is to have something to show like the progress that I've made each week. So I guess you get a different clue every week, or like the next section, and you don't know what the final result is going to be. So, and I think for a shawl, I'm totally okay with that. I do really like most of his designs. So yeah, I want to know in the comments below how many of you are planning to participate, what yarn, if you've got your yarn picked out, and if you guys think that I should do this along with you all on the podcast. So I'm leaning toward yes. So anyway, so I figured since I was talking about a shawl, and yeah, can probably easily get this done before that even starts, that might be a fun next shawl project. So yeah, let me know what you guys think and what your plans are for that. Is it called shawlography, this one? I think it is. So I've just been a little bit behind on social media lately. I've been like, so it's been a little crazy. But yeah, so, all right, I still have so many more whips to share with you guys. So, let's see, I think first we're gonna, I have another whip that's like just a whip, but then I have my whips that are part of the Harry Potter knit-along. So I think let's head into that. Let's go into Knitworthy for a minute, and then we'll cycle back to whips in a minute here. Okay guys, as promised, I have made progress with my head wig. So I have a Harry Potter knit-along from patterns from this book that is currently going on. I started it in June, and then the summer kind of got away from me with everything that happened with my mother-in-law. So this has gone on my end a lot more slowly than I ever envisioned that it would. I had plans to have over the summer Hedwig done, plus the Cornish pixie, plus the three-headed dog. So needless to say, that has not all happened, but we are making progress, and I also have a new cast-on to share with you guys from this book. So, okay, let me find a bigger picture of Hedwig to share with you guys. And no, that's not the right one. Here we go. All right, so this is Hedwig in her full glory in this book. So I just want to show you guys. So she's got yellow eyes. That was my stopping point for where I was able to get to with my Hedwig, because I have like a whole collection of eyes because I knit animals for Owen like a lot. I didn't have yellow. So the eyes I ordered, they are on the way, but I've got Hedwig like all stuffed, and the ends are woven in. So this is where the eye, it's really hard. It's like she's blowing out on camera, but you can see like these little indentations here are where her eyes are going to be. And then over here, where you guys can see, I'm trying to, there we go. It's a little blowing up, but I think you can see the head, the flap over here. So the beak is going to be black and is going to go over here. So we'll have eyes and we'll have a beak. And really the only other thing that I need to do is attach all of these wings then. So I probably could go ahead some of that. I'm trying to think how this, I'm not really sure how exactly these attach. I could look at this picture. Let's see. So it looks like that edge kind of goes that way over the tail feathers, and then there's also I don't know if I have the right one for the side. So then there's this one that I guess maybe goes like that. Does that look right? Maybe. And then the other one on the other side. So something like that. So you guys, she's really close. She is really close, but and that's the one side. So yeah, so she'll have wings on both sides, and then she'll have eyes, and she'll have a beak. I mean, she's starting to look like an owl, I think. So actually shaping the head, let's talk about that for a minute. I was really worried about that process, and it really didn't turn out to be that difficult. I did not have to reference a tutorial that a lot of the people that have knit Hedwig in their Ravelry notes said that like shaping the head was very confusing, and one person had made like a video tutorial or something. So I was fully expecting to need to reference that, but I was actually able to figure it out on my own. So basically, like, you stuff it, and then you take like the back portion. So this is the front, so that's already back here. You take like the front portion and you pull it towards the back, and then you cinch in the sides, and that will help form this part. And then the back, and then you seam it. So you continue to stuff it a little bit more, and then you seam it, and then the point of that seam you pull down to form the beak. So you do have to do a little stuffing along the way of seaming. So like you'll seam a little bit and then stuff it a little bit more to like make this face look like an owl. But I mean, it took me a few minutes to like work it out in my brain, but it really wasn't complicated. So yeah, so that is my Hedwig progress. And Owen already tried to steal Hedwig for sleeping with. I was like, you've got a faceless owl, a wingless owl. I was like, no, you cannot have this yet. You need to wait until it's done. So he is super excited. Okay, so that brings me to, all right, so wait, really quick, the yarn that I used, this is an undyed Malabriga Rios. This one is a Madeline Tosh DK or worsted. It's Tosh Vintage, so it's worsted weight. And the color is Optic 305-P. And that's that speckly one. And then just for the little bits of black, this is just something that I had in my stash. I think it's a DK weight yarn. This one is, yeah, it's a DK Merino Superwash, and it is from Plymouth Yarn Company. So that's the label for that one. So, and then I just need like the tiniest amount of this. You hardly need any black. So most likely you have some black in your stash that you can work out for the little claws, and that's what the beak is going to be. Okay, so Owen has decided to be Harry Potter for Halloween. So I do have another cast on, but he's already looking to see like how we can maybe, I thought about a couple of things for him because he wants Hedwig to be part of his Halloween costume. So I thought, well, maybe I could get a little cage, right? And we could carry Hedwig in a cage, like a bird cage, like they do in the movies. That might be a kind of annoying though to carry on Halloween because you've got your like candy basket, and at least in our neighborhood, he always gets so much candy because we usually go out a couple times. My husband always has to work on Halloween. So usually we'll go out, I'll take Owen and we'll meet up with his cousins for some trick-or-treating in like the afternoon when Daddy is at work. And then when he gets home, we usually do a little early evening, like between 7 and 8:30 round of trick-or-treating. And so at that time of the night, everyone's like, just get this candy out of my house, and they just like dump it all in, and he ends up with enough candy, and it always lasts him until Easter. It's insane. So just thinking ahead to like how much candy bags we're gonna have to be carrying around. I don't know if I want to put him in a cage and have to have something else. So then I was thinking, well, maybe we could, between like rubber bands or Velcro or something, find a way to like find a way to maybe prop him, I don't know, like on his shoulder or on his arm. But then he, like if he puts his arm down, it's Hedwig's gonna be like this. So maybe he just needs to carry him. Maybe I just need to carry him. I don't know. I'm still working this out, but Owen totally wants Hedwig to be part of his costume. He wants to have his pet along for the ride. So that is a plan. All right, and then, so I have a new cast on in here. You guys can see already where I'm going. So this is actually this is a portion of my acquisitions section that I'm dipping into. This is the only portion of acquisitions that I purchased myself. That is not part of like a club subscription because I needed solid colors. I think I passed it. Oh, here we go. All right. Oh, it's just the next one in here. Okay. So obviously he needs a scarf, right? So that he can be Harry Potter. He actually already has little Harry Potter glasses that we found at like a toy shop on our vacation when we went to New Hampshire. So cute. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so he's already got Harry Potter glasses. We promised him he could get the wand for his Halloween costume. And then I'm gonna be making him this scarf, the Gryffindor scarf. So now, the pattern in the book, my only complaint about this book with the clothes is that it's all for adult sizes. So hopefully when the second book comes out in a few weeks here, I'm hoping that they have more things that are kid-friendly sizes so that you don't have to like go find a different pattern entirely and just mash two things together. So let's see, Owen and I were hanging out, doing a whole lot of hiking and exploring. Last Saturday, my husband had a full day at work and we just have one car. So we dropped him off at work and he works in the same town that I do in Huntington, and there's a cute little yarn shop there called the Knitting Garden. So Owen and I had gone off on some hiking in the morning, and then we came back to just like potty breaks and eating food and stuff, and so we just came back into the Huntington town. And I said, you know what, Owen, since you're here with me and since the yarn shop is open because it's Saturday afternoon, why don't we head down there and why don't we go see what yarn we can find for your Gryffindor scarf? And so he was excited about that. And so this is the only thing that we could find in a worsted weight yarn in the right colors. Actually worked out to be quite cost effective for me. And it is Encore by Plymouth Yarns. So there's a lot of acrylic in this, but it doesn't feel icky. So there, I think it's like, yeah, it's 75% acrylic and 25% wool. So I try not to buy much acrylic yarn because of, you know, environmental reasons and because it's not my favorite thing to knit with. But if I am going to buy acrylic, I at least want it to be part of a blend. And I know that, you know, this is for a kid's scarf and it's gonna last him. It's gonna last him a while. Yeah, so, you know, I was looking for something, like I was looking for the Barocco, the vintage, because that has, I think it's got a higher, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it has a higher wool to, yeah, it does have a higher wool to acrylic ratio, but they only had one skein of like the right shade of red. So, and then everything else just wasn't right. So this was the closest that we could find. So I have been working on the scarf. I've already made a good deal of progress on it. Now, because it's like an adult scarf, the pattern was written for like 1,000 yards of the red and like 200 yards for the other color or something. They only had 3, so I only was able to get 600 yards of the red. But between that, I mean like 800 yards, and I've got 2 of the yellow, which is more than I need because I figure I'm gonna be using it for like Mrs. Weasley's like Christmas sweater, so I'll need it for like the O for that eventually. There's no way I'm gonna knit him this like his scarf that he's just gonna trip and trip and trip over. So I am just going to use what I have. I think between like 3 skeins of red, which would be 600 yards, and the yellow, that I'm sure it's gonna be long enough. So this is what I have so far, and it's coming out so well. And this is actually really cool. Oh, I wanted to show you guys. I have I bought an extra set of these to use for the giveaway for anybody who participates in the Harry Potter knit-along. So I have a whole set of Harry Potter stitch markers that's going to be a prize, along with a Harry Potter measuring tape, and then probably some other things too. But I don't have that many of you guys participating yet, so yeah, so come join me. Maybe you guys will get into it when her new book comes out really soon. But anyway, so this is actually knit in the round. And then, so it's like, it's really easy. Like, it's not flat. I don't have to do anything back and forth. But it's double thick, which I think will be really nice too. And then there's gonna be like fringe at each end. So yeah, so you guys can see I made like the start of progress on this already. And I guess actually, so you see where like there's a little bit of a jog there for the stripes, but that's gonna be where the edge is. It's not gonna be noticeable at all. So I'm not concerned about that. Owen wouldn't notice anything like that anyway. Yeah, so this is a really easy, mindless knitting project, and I figured I've got until Halloween to get this thing done, and I'm pretty pleased with the progress that I've made, considering I just cast it on maybe Wednesday and today's Friday. So yeah, I've already made pretty good progress. Okay, so that is everything I have right now for Knitworthy and for the Harry Potter knit-along. I did order the eyes for Hedwig, so I think that those are supposed to come Monday. So I expect that by the next episode, Hedwig will be a finished object. I hope. Not too much to go on her. Okay, so I do have one more whip that has been a long time whip that I have returned to a few different nights. So let's go back to whips so that I can dig that out for you guys. Okay guys, so back several months ago, I also failed on finishing another test knit by the deadline. I don't know, I don't remember why. It just turned out to be a very, very slow test knit, but I am loving this sweater so much, and it is totally worth it. So this is, I'm talking about Artist's Journey from Annie Lupton, and you guys remember this thing that I had kind of halted out on it. Let's see, I think that what I had finished was the front. I've got so many ends everywhere. So it's a little hard to hold this up because I don't have like the back completely finished and the shoulders seam together yet. But so this is the front portion, which is completely finished, right? And then, so what I have been working on and what I am almost finished with now is the back portion. So let me see. What have I worked on this week, or these past 2 weeks, was I have done, so I was only this far. So I've done from this color band up. So I am now in the middle of the very last section of color, and I am just about to get to the point where I need to do some more short row shaping. So I'll hold up the front so that you guys can have a better idea of where I am and how close I have gotten with the back. This is that last color banded section up here, and so I'm right about in the middle of it. And then there's some shoulder shaping in the front, so I'm about to be doing some shaping on the back, and then as soon as that back panel is finished, I will be able to seam the shoulders together, and then we will have sleeves and a neckline to go. So yeah, I got really interested in returning to this one because I was like, you know, I've made a really good amount of progress on it, and now we're finally starting to get into sweater weather again. So yeah, I just thought, you know, I had a sweater that was already basically halfway done. Now, I imagine that the sleeves are going to be pretty slow as well, because not only is there color work on the sleeves, but there is also a really cool little twisted stitch detail in the main color just to give it a little bit of texture. So there is something that goes on like pretty much every row of this sweater, which makes it a really, really engaging knit. But it's not the fastest. It's not the fastest knit. But I just love, 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 love all of these colors. The colors of this make me so happy. So I think that you guys can see a similarity between the sweater that I am wearing and the main color of this sweater. And that's because this sweater is also using entirely Wonderland yarns. Now, this was a sweater that I had purchased the yarn for before becoming brand ambassador. So none of this sweater was provided for me. This was right around the time that I applied, though, for the position. I was on the website ordering yarn, and I noticed that they had an application open, and so I was ordering yarn, and then I filled out my application, and everything had a really, really happy ending. So that was back in March. So I must have started this back in March or April. So this, similar to the kerfluffle, so let's see, I'm gonna put this down for a minute. And I've got, of course, mini skeins from the color work that are attached and just falling everywhere here. But this is, I'll take the label off. This one is called Frippery. So the sweater that I'm wearing is kerfluffle, and then this one is Frippery. And so this is just another shade. It's number 189. It's another shade of their speckled yarn. This is their Alice DK base, which is 70% superwash merino and 30% silk is this one. And this one is sport weight. And it is also, is this 100% superwash? This one might be. Yeah, this one is 100% superwash. So it's a different base, it's a different fiber content, and it's a different colorway. You can see that this one is more of a bluish gray, whereas like this one is more of like it's like a brighter, like off-white color. So, but they are very similar. You can tell how much I love their speckle colorways. And so what I did to pick my colors for this whip, I'm just gonna go over it because I feel like it has been so long now. It's been like a good 6 months since I started that project. So a lot of you guys might be new and have never seen this before. So I may as well tell you how I went about choosing my colors. So I knew that I needed 6 different colors for the color work bands in here. And so they sell like mini skein kits, and you can get like, they have like a small 5 skein kit, and then they have these larger ones that have 8. So what I did was I picked out mini skeins, and I knew that I picked out 2 of these because the yardage in just one was not going to be enough for my entire sweater. So I bought 2 of these 8 skein mini skein sets in this colorway, which is called Rhyme and Reason, and it's number 82. And you guys can see just like all of the beautiful colors. I think I might be missing, yeah, there's one. All right, so, but I have it right here too. So it's all of these beautiful colors, plus this one's attached to my sweater, but plus this lighter green, right? So pretty. So I only needed 6 of these. So I decided in the end, I'm not using that dark green, and I'm not using this blue. So I still have those. So then these 6 colors became my colorwork colors. And so then what I did, and I was picking this out entirely online because I don't have a local yarn shop that carries Wonderland Yarns. So I was doing this all on the website. So I started with the colorwork colors, and then what I did was I looked for a main color yarn that would work with these. And so I found the speckly one, and if you can see, like, all of those speckles in there, basically it's like all of these colors. So that was how I settled on the frippery color. I was like, oh, all of those jewel tone speckles, and then that's like a tonal-ish speckly one. I just thought it would look so good together, and I was so right about that. This is what it looks like caked up, and then, you know, this one, it doesn't have like a solid stockinette. Like this one has a lot of like solid stockinette, so you can see in stockinette how their speckle yarns knit up. But this one, every time you have a main color, there's like this twisted stitch texture to it as well. So if you wanted that texture to stand out a little bit more in between your color band sections, then you might want to use a yarn that is more of like just a regular solid or a tonal, so that you could really see that stitch pattern. I am perfectly happy that I used the speckles because honestly, I goofed up in a couple of places and you can't tell. So it still has the amazing texture there. I can't even find the places where I goofed up. I just remembered that there were several places where I goofed up the little cabled pattern in there, and it just didn't line up like it was supposed to. But you can't tell because of the speckles, and it looks good, it feels good, and oh my gosh. So now I am so eager to get this one, like sleeves, and yeah. So I hope that by next time that I have the back portion finished and the shoulder seams together, and then I might go ahead and do the neckline because I hate doing necklines. I hate picking up stitches for necklines. That's usually the last steps, but I'll probably do that before I do the sleeves just to get it over with. I just hate doing the neckline, picking up stitches. Don't like it. Not a fan, but okay, so this is the Artist Journey sweater, and this is, I don't remember if I said it was Boho Chic Fiber Co. It's another Annie Lupton design. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting this finished so that I can wear it because it's gonna be cool enough soon. Okay guys, that is everything I have for whips. I want to go into spinning next, and then I have some acquisitions to share too, including some brand new yarn and fiber from Wonderland Yarns and Frabjous Fibers that I just got in the mail a couple of days ago, and so I can't wait to show it to you and tell you what I'm gonna make out of it. So don't go anywhere, but let's go into spinning. Okay, you guys, I am beyond excited to share with you the most favorite yarn hand spun that I have ever done. It is finished, it is plied, it matches my outfit beautifully. It is just, it's perfection. Do you guys see this? Oh my goodness, I have been working on this one for so long. Oh my gosh, okay, so this is, let me see if I can get it all, like, it's in several mini skeins here right now. But yeah, this is, let's get that falling. There we go. There we go. Guys, see all of this? So this is also Wonderland Yarns. This is Frabjous fibers. This was not provided for me. This came from deep, deep, deep in my stash from a trip we made to Vermont like 4 or 5 years ago when Owen was like probably 2 or something, like 1.5 or 2. 1.5 probably. He was young. So yeah, and he's like almost 7 now. So yeah, this was deep in my stash. Why did I wait so long? I must have waited so long so that I could improve my spinning skills, because I am so thrilled with how this turns out. Oh my goodness, it is 100% Polworth wool top, right? I think that's right. And the colorway, I don't know if they still have it, but they should bring it back if they don't, because this is gorgeous. It's called Iris. And so yeah, there's all those beautiful colors. So I mean, I see like the light blue from the sky, right? And then there's like the green from like the stem and the leaves of the flower, and then that deeper purple. There's some white in there that is like clouds in the sky. There's no yellow. Like I think sometimes Iris has a little bit of yellow on the petals too, but that's probably the only color that's not in here. So pretty. This is my favorite ever. I showed you guys the last time that I showed this, maybe not the last episode, but maybe the episode before that. So maybe it was like episode 33. Don't quote me on that. But I brought out some yarn that I had picked up that was mill ends from our trip to Harrisville Designs over the summer. So that video I am finally starting to edit now that I wore Caitlin Hunter's sweater in that, so I had to kind of wait like 3 months to release that video. So that's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks now that Caitlin released her design and life is settling back into something that is not just a constant stress. I mean, that's not entirely true, but we'll just go with that for now. Anyway, so when I was at Harrisville, I picked up some mill ends, and some of them, so I think that this is probably like between a fingering and a sport weight. I don't know how many yards I have yet. I haven't measured anything, but it seems to me, just from eyeballing it, it seems like it's probably fingering weight, sport weight-ish, probably something similar to Spin Cycle in weight. And so that got me thinking that I really want to use this as color work for a sweater, maybe a yoke design. I don't know that I have enough of the mill ends that I purchased to do like a long sleeve sweater. I don't know. It depends how much yardage, which I have to investigate. I have 2 in like a light green. It's like, if you think, it's not their Daylights line, but it's similar in concept where they take like leftovers and they like mix it all together. And so there's one, it's like an off-white with like a hint of like a mint green, and that I have in a fingering weight, and I have 2 skeins of that. It might be close to 1,000 yards. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure like how generous the yardage is on that. So I might have enough to eke out a long sleeve sweater. I might not. But I'm definitely thinking at least a short sleeve sweater with like a yoke color work design using this for the contrasting color work. I'm so excited. I have not begun to look at patterns yet. If you guys have ideas for a colorwork sweater, especially a short sleeve one, in case I don't have the yardage for long sleeve, throw some ideas my way. I love this so much. This is the favorite hand spun yarn that I have ever made thus far. I did it all on my drop spindle. It's so beautiful. Purple is my favorite color. Like, it matches the sweater. It's just everything about this just makes me so happy. So I'm really eager to get knitting with this right away. Most of the time I have my hand spun and I finish spinning it and then I don't know what I want to do with it. This one I actually like, I have yarn I want to pair it with. I also have a skein of a DK weight, similar also to it's also the Harrisville mill ends. And it's got like a little bit of a hint of purple to it. So I might be able, I only have one skein of that. But I might be able to, depending on how much of this I use, if I only use this in a yoke and have more left over, then I might be able to combine this also with the purple tinted one that I have to make like a hat or something. I showed it to you guys a couple episodes ago, so you might remember, or if you want to go back and look, but as soon as I figure out, you'll be seeing it soon on the podcast anyway. So that is another finished object, but it is my hand spun. Okay, so I have a new spinning project, but I also have a new fiber acquisition. So since we're on Frabjous fibers, I'm going to share with you the acquisition that I just got from them. I'm gonna take this out of the plastic. So I didn't have this in my possession yet when I started my new spinning project, which is why I just started spinning on something. So I'm gonna have two spinning projects going on simultaneously, both with my drop spindle, I think. This one it's also Polworth, but it has silk in it as well. It is organic Polworth silk top, and this is their limited edition sweater weather colorway for fall. So you guys, this is gorgeous. This fiber, these colors, this is like what I'm excited about. These are my favorite fall colors. It's absolutely beyond beautiful. This is going to be available through Halloween, through October 31st. So if you guys are falling in love, like I saw this and I had to have it. I asked them, I said, since I also finished a spinning project, guys, could you send me some fiber too? And so they did, because I was like, I've got my eyes on this sweater weather fiber. It's so pretty. So I am really excited about this. I'm gonna start spinning this pretty soon. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness, you guys, do you see like, this one matches that bag, and then this one matches this. You see how I like my things? Yeah, it's so good. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I'm so happy about this. All right, so my current spinning project is in this one. So I was really in the mood, like I didn't yet have my sweater weather. I knew it was coming, but I really wanted to get started spinning something. So I looked in my fiber stash. I mean, you would think that I would use like I'm gonna sneeze. You would think that with all the Paradise Fibers packages that I get, that I would have started spinning up some of that. But a lot of the colors that I have are more summery. I think my first package for them was December. It was right before Christmas. So we've kind of gone through like winter and spring and summer colors. And so I'm in a fall color mood, and I just didn't really have anything from Paradise Fibers that was really speaking to me for fall colors just yet. I imagine that there's gonna be plenty coming up because our next package is October, and I did not look at the spoiler, but it is a spooky Halloween type theme. So I went in my stash because I remembered that I had some fiber from Sweet Georgia, and oh, that's not the right label. Let's get this one. So I had some fiber from Sweet Georgia. Now this is not a fiber content that I have spun before, so it's really interesting. It is 50% alpaca, 30% merino wool, and 20% silk. But the color is called Falling Leaves. And so what I did was I split it into the same thing that I did for the one that I just finished. I split it into 4 bumps, lengthwise. So, oh my gosh, you guys, these colors are so fall and so beautiful. Yeah, so this is called Falling Leaves. And so I was in the mood to do something that was really fall-ish. So I split the braid. It came in a big braid. I split it down lengthwise in half, and then each of the halves I split in lengthwise again. So that was the process that I used for the iris yarn that I just finished, and I really loved how that turned out. So I haven't gotten too far. I'm still getting the hang of spinning this fiber. I knew I wanted to use the same drop spindle that I used for this yarn on the sweater weather that I had coming, so I grabbed this drop spindle, which is my heaviest one. So I'm struggling like a little bit to get in the swing of, you can't see all the orange that I've already spun, but you can see, I don't know if that's super showing up or not, but let's see. So I did the orange, and yeah, so there's orange and gold and like a little bit of this like dusty purple, and then like a teal, and then kind of like a brownish. It kind of transitions back into like a gold, and then yeah, it's so pretty. It is so pretty. You can see like all the, I'm guessing that that's from all the alpaca, all of those fibers coming away from. It's so soft. It feels like I just have a bunny rabbit. Even though there's no bunny rabbit in this, it feels like a bunny rabbit. So yeah, so I didn't get very far with this one. I've spent like a couple of hours just like undoing the braid and splitting the fiber up, and I got like just a little bit done a few days ago. But that is one of my current spinning projects, and then I'm excited to get sweater weather onto my drop spindle this weekend, and I'm just gonna have 2 going at once because the colors are just amazing. So I'm just gonna alternate a little bit here, a little bit there on both until they're both done. So that is everything I have for spinning. I'm still not really back into the natural dyeing yet. I've collected some things to dye with, and they're all sitting in my freezer. So I'm just gonna skip. I'm just gonna skip over natural dyeing again this week because this is already a really super long episode, and I do have some acquisitions to share with you guys today. So let's go over to acquisitions so that I can show you everything that I've got. Okay, so I actually have some acquisitions. I haven't been buying yarn. I did buy just the Harry Potter scarf yarn. So that was the only purchase that I actually made. So what I have to share with you guys was either provided for me for my brand ambassadorship, or my parents went to Iceland and they got me a little bit of yarn for my birthday. And then I have my sock yarn Knitterly Things subscription that came in also. So yeah, nothing. I mean, the sock yarn subscription, I purchased that. So I guess you could count that along things that I purchased. So let's start with that, since that's what I am talking about. So this would be the September or the August. No, this is the August 2021. So her month colorway always comes at the start, like she sends it out at the end of the month and it arrives in your mailbox at the start of the next month. So her August, so I showed you guys in my Bright Access tee, her August 2020 colorway was that beautiful wide stripe top for my Bright Access tee. And then I've got 2 subscriptions from her. She has 2 different sock yarn clubs. So this is what came in them. Such pretty colors. This time especially. They're always beautiful colors, but really like both of these. And they're always pretty different. So her regular one, so I also do like you have the option to choose either for yourself what base you want it on, or you can leave it up to Julia and she'll just, whatever she feels like doing, she will do. And so I just do, you know, dyer's choice. So I just let Julia just do her thing and I'm just happy. This way I have a variety of sock yarn and a variety of bases and I love all of it. So this one is her regular Vesper Sock Yarn Club, and this is from August 2021. It is 463 yards of self-striping goodness, and this color she has called Sing Along, and this is on her 75% superwash merino, 23% nylon, and 2% stellina sparkle base. So this is like her glitter base. So, and then it also comes with this little mini that you can either use or choose not to. Sometimes I use them and sometimes I just go with the yarn itself. So it just depends what I feel like in the moment. So that is this one. Lots of fun colors there. And then her other sock yarn club is called the Remix Club. And so this is where she takes a colorway that she has done previously, like from years ago, and she reimagines it and puts a new twist on it. So this one is called Playdate Remix, and she did this on like the zebra yarn base, so it's got like the black and white yarn in there. She used just, I don't know if this yarn is an undyed mini or if she added a little bit of color. This just might be like the way that the base comes, or there might be like a hint of something neutral in there, not sure. But these colors, oh my gosh, I love these colors. Just, I'm gonna get it down a little bit because there's some other colors down there, like some peach colors too. It's just so fun. It's just like a lot of primary colors, but not, kind of like a neon green in there and some couple different shades of blue. The orange is not orange, it's like a peach, and then there's a red. It's just really cool. I'm really excited, especially about this one. I have nothing like this in my stash, so that is exciting. So that was my sock of the month clubs from Julia. Okay, and then I, of course, got my package the other day from Wonderland Yarns for my next brand ambassador project, now that this one is complete. And so this also is a brand new colorway for the fall that I saw online and I just had to try it, and you will see why. It is everything I wanted. So this is, the base is Cheshire Cat, and it's a light fingering weight base. So there's quite generous yardage in here. It's 512 yards of light fingering weight yarn. This one is 100% superwash merino. And so this is one of the color burst yarns. So they're really cool. I'll show it to you in just a second. But the color burst color is called Splashing Through Puddles, and that's the colorway that is one of their new, I don't know how many new ones they had, maybe 4 or 5, not sure. But I got 3 skeins, and I've already caked one of them up. I got 3 skeins of this. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So the color, let's see, the color burst section is in this, the top of that. So I'm gonna take the band off of one, and show you what it looks like out unskeined so that you guys can see. It's so cool. And then I have a sweater, like I asked them for this one because I had a sweater that has been in my queue for a really long time, and then I just knew that this is like exactly the same concept for the yarn, where like most of it is a solid color, but then there's a burst of a really fun pop in just a small portion of the skein. So it knits up so cool. If you guys actually want to see how this one knits up before I get going on my project, if you go to their Instagram, there's like a little TikTok video that they did where it's like in a skein and then they like push on it and it's like a swatch. And so you can see it's like, you know, basically a purple stockinette swatch, but there's like these little sections, these little lines of like this beautiful color burst in the teals. So pretty. It is so pretty. So this is what it looks like in the skein. So it's mostly purple. It is a little bit of a tonal, like you guys can see there's like a little bit of a lighter section in there, so it's not completely solid. So I would say it's like a tonal on the plum, and the lighter portions of that tonal are right kind of surrounding that color burst there. So yeah, so that is what this looks like undone. And then, I didn't do that very well. There we go. Okay. I'm so excited about this. And I'm about to share with you the project that I'm going to use. But this is what it looks like caked up. It's so pretty. And so you guys can see why I'm excited about this. I mean, it is all my favorite colors. Purple is my most favorite color. Okay, so I am going to insert a picture now of the sweater pattern that I am going to turn the 3 skeins of this into. This is a pattern by, oh gosh, I think her name is Renee Callahan. I hope I have that correct. If I don't, I will correct it right here. And it is a cardigan, and it is called the Modernist. And so hers was done in, maybe it's like a more bluish gray, but then it had some like really bright like neon color bursts in it. So when I saw this this color burst yarn, I just knew that it was exactly the right type of yarn to get that same effect of the little splashes of color throughout the cardigan. I'm so excited to get going on this. So yes, this is gonna get cast on pretty soon. Definitely gonna be swatching for this because swatching is a good idea, as I am learning. I am starting to really embrace swatching so that I can get things fitting as I wish for them to. Okay, so that is my plan for this Cheshire Cat yarn in the splashing through puddles, color burst color. Okay, so now the very last acquisitions I have are from Iceland. So my parents just celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary, and they had originally planned to take a cruise to Norway, and I want to say part of Russia too, up in that area, because that is our background. We are both of my parents have Norwegian. Maybe my mom doesn't. Maybe it's just my dad. Norwegian, Austrian in our genetics, and my mom has a little bit of Russian, and like a tiny bit of Irish. So anyway, so they planned to do a cruise in that area, but it is not reopened anymore because it got canceled last year. They were supposed to go like last September, and it got canceled because of COVID. So they decided to take a cruise to Iceland, and they went a day early because I guess the you're not allowed to like deviate too much or at all from whatever the cruise has planned. I wouldn't know. Never been on a cruise. Well, I went on one cruise a long time ago. But they went a day early because I wanted yarn. I think they also wanted to do some other things as well, but yeah, I was like, I really want yarn. You're going to Iceland. And I mean, I know that I can order this online, but you know, so they went to, I don't know, like it was like maybe the Hand Knitters Association of Iceland, as I want to say. And you know, my mom knits, like she can knit. She doesn't anymore, but she taught me how to knit when I was a teenager. And yeah, so she knows a little bit, but not nearly what I do. So she asked for advice. She was not, she wasn't willing to get me like a sweater quantity of anything. So what she did was, I think she asked for like some kind of Icelandic yarn that I could use for like mittens or socks or like something like that, some kind of like smaller accessory type thing. And so she picked out 4 colors for me. So of course, you know, she knows to get purple. So I've got, this is my first Let Lope bee that I've ever had. I'm so excited to work with it. So it's so beautiful. It's nice and rustic, but it doesn't feel scratchy at all. So I've got this color. So I've got 2 of these because they're each 50 gram skeins, right? So I've got this color, and then she got, surprise, surprise, one of my other favorite colors, right? So I've got, similar to the Wonderland yarns I just showed you guys, right? So I've got these colors, and so it's so pretty. And then, stop, drop in a podcast every time. And then she got me like a light blue, lighter. It's got so many specks in it though, so it's kind of like, it kind of reads like a pastel blue, kind of almost similar to this, but it's got like maybe some little reds and white, and it almost is like a little red, white, and blue, but so pale, like pastel-y. So there's that color, and then the last one that she picked out is this color. I don't know if these have, oh, that's really, really pretty too. I'm like seeing this actually in the daylight for the first time. So yeah, I mean, I could put the color numbers in. If you guys want to know specific color numbers, just let me know and I will, you can message me for that. Then there's this color. And so it's like, it's really cool. Like the wool, I've never seen it in person before, but it's like a solid color base, but it's got like, can you see all those other colors in there? And then all of them are like that. So I've got 2 of each. And then, oh, she also got me some cute little stickers. So this was really cute too. It's my birthday card. Oh, I shouldn't lose that. There's a little money in there. Where are my stickers? I forgot about that. Yeah, there we go, my card. So she got me these really cute woolly sweater stickers too. So I thought that those were like little Vikings and little like polar type animals in sweaters. So yeah, so that was a nice like little souvenir that she got me for my birthday from Iceland. So that's all the acquisitions I have. But let me show you, you know, I don't know that I'll use all of these together. I think these dark ones, like, because that has like that color in it, if you can look at the one that, is it black? I think it's kind of black, but it also has like the deep purple, and it also then has a teal. So like those might work like really well together. So I've got those. I'll show you just like all 4 together. I don't think I'll use all 4 together. I think I'll be mixing them up. So yeah, so I don't really know, but those are the 4 colors together of what she got me. So I've got 100 grams of each color. So yeah, I've got a couple of years ago for Christmas, like not this past Christmas, but the one before that, my husband had ordered me a bunch of mitten books because I was really getting into the idea of knitting some mittens, colorwork mittens, and I haven't done it yet. So I'm gonna look through some of those pattern books and probably cast on some mittens as we start to approach the fall winter season here. But okay, that is everything I have to share with you guys today. I feel like this was a pretty long episode. But yeah, I mean, I told you guys it was packed full. I had so many things to share. So I am excited. As you guys can see, a lot of my projects are really getting to that finished object point, which means I'm just getting excited about new cast-ons and just a whole new season of knitting now that we are in the fall. So many things. Oh my goodness. Don't forget to let me know about the Stephen West shawlography mystery knit-along. I really think I want to do it. Yeah, so it might depend though if I have the five colors in my stash. So if that gradient will work, if it looks like that gradient will work, I'm totally going to use that. Otherwise we'll have to see if I have, because I really don't want to purchase anything right now. All right, so let me know. Thank you guys again for being with me for another episode. I'm so excited. I can't believe we're like 10 months now of podcasting. So I can't believe I've been doing this for we're approaching a year. So super exciting. Thank you guys all so much for subscribing and coming along with me on my knitting journey. And I cannot wait to see you guys all next time. Have an amazing everything. Bye.